Welcome back to your channel. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of U.S. coinage, focusing on one iconic piece, the 1965 Washington Quarter. Whether you're a seasoned collector, a history enthusiast, or just curious about the value of that old quarter in your pocket, you're in the right place. Let's get started. The 1965 Washington Quarter holds a special place in U.S. numismatic history. It was the first year the U.S. Mint transitioned from silver quarters to copper nickel-clad coins. Why the change? Rising silver prices made it too expensive to continue using the precious metal in circulating coins. Before 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver and 10% copper. But by the mid-1960s, the price of silver skyrocketed, leading to widespread hoarding of silver coins. To ensure enough quarters remained in circulation, Congress passed the Coinage Act of 1965, eliminating silver from dimes and quarters. Instead, these coins were made from a core of pure copper sandwiched between layers of nickel. Now let's talk about the design. The obverse features the classic profile of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan in 1932. On the reverse, we see the iconic bald eagle clutching arrows and olive branches symbolizing both strength and peace. At a glance, the 1965 quarter looks almost identical to its silver predecessor, but there's a major difference: its composition. The absence of silver means its intrinsic metal value is much lower. So, what's the circulated value of a 1965 quarter? Because these coins contain no silver, their value is primarily tied to their face value, 25 cents, in most cases. However, collectors might pay a little more for well-preserved examples or errors. Let's break it down. In circulated condition, most 1965 quarters are worth just their face value, unless you find one with unique errors or exceptional condition. For instance, quarters with noticeable doubling, a form of die, cureness, error, can fetch anywhere from $10 to $50, depending on the severity of the error. $10 to several $1,000s, depending on rarity and condition, of uncirculated examples, $2 to $5, primarily for collectors seeking pristine specimens. One more tip: if you're lucky enough to stumble upon an uncirculated 1965 quarter, it's worth setting aside. While the value isn't astronomical now, who knows what the future might hold for these first-year clad coins. The 1965 Washington Quarter is an iconic bald eagle clutching arrows and olive branches, symbolizing both strength and peace. At a glance, the 1965 quarter looks almost identical to its silver predecessor. But there's a major difference: its composition. The absence of silver means its intrinsic metal value is much lower. So what's the circulated value of a 1965 quarter? Because these coins contain no silver, their value is primarily tied to their face value, 25 cents in most cases. However, collectors might pay a little more for well-preserved examples or errors. Let's break it down. In circulated condition, most 1965 quarters are worth just their face value, unless you find one with unique errors or exceptional condition. For instance, quarters with noticeable doubling, a form of die error, can fetch anywhere from $10 to $50, depending on the severity of the error. $10 to several $1,000s, depending on rarity and condition. You won't see one complete, though, for about a year, and the reality is anyone $10 to $60, primarily for collectors seeking pristine specimens, you will see one pre-seen. One more tip: if you're lucky enough to stumble upon an uncirculated 1965 quarter, it's worth setting aside. While the value isn't astronomical now, who knows what the future might hold for these first-year clad coins. Designed by John Flanagan, originally introduced in 1932 to commemorate Washington's 200th birthday, the bald eagle, with outstretched wings, clutching a bundle of arrows and an olive branch. The decision to keep the design consistent ensured a smooth transition and avoided confusion among the public. The 1965 quarter was minted in massive quantities to mint the demand for circulating coinage and combat the hoarding of older silver quarters. It was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, although no mint mark was used due to the temporary suspension. It symbolized the end of silver as a standard in common coinage and the beginning of modern clad coinage. Today, the 1965 quarter is not considered rare, as billions were minted and many remain in circulation. However, its historical significance makes it an interesting piece for collectors, especially when examining the broader economic and social context of the 1960s. Coins with errors or exceptional conditions hold particular value among numismatists. History sets the stage for understanding the 1965 quarter's role in the evolution of U.S. currency and its current standing in the world of coin collecting. 1977, Washington Quarter. Could this common coin be worth more than 25 cents? Let's find out. The 1977 Washington Quarter is part of the U.S. Mint's long-running Washington Quarter series, which began in 1932 to honor the first president of the United States, George Washington. This series has seen several design changes over the years, but the 1977 coin retains the classic obverse design by John Flanagan, featuring Washington's bust and the reverse design of the iconic bald eagle with outstretched wings. Before we jump into its value, here are some key details about the 1977 quarter. In 1977, quarters were struck at two U.S. Mint facilities, Philadelphia and Denver. Coins from the Philadelphia have no mint mark, while those from Denver bear a small D on the obverse, right below the year. Let's step back in time to 1977. This was an era of economic challenges, with inflation driving up the cost of living. Quarters like this were essential for daily transactions, from paying for parking meters to buying a soda. The sheer number of quarters minted during this time reflects their high demand. Oh, that's more than 700 million quarters minted in 1 year. So yes, these coins are quite common. But does that mean they're worthless? Worth 25 cents. However, when it comes to collectors, condition is everything. A heavily circulated 1977 quarter with visible wear and tear typically remains worth only its face value of 25 cents. A lightly circulated coin may fetch around 30 to 50 cents. But here's where things get exciting. Errors and varieties. Some 1977 quarters have minting errors that make them valuable to collectors. These include coins with misaligned designs can be worth $10 to $50 or more, depending on the degree of the error. So always check your 1977 quarters for these errors. You never know what treasure you might have. If you are collecting 1977 quarters, focus on finding coins in the best possible condition. Look for sharp details, a bright luster, and minimal scratches. Protect your coins and coin holders to preserve their value over time. Also, consider having high-grade or error coins professionally graded by services like PCGS or NGC. A certification can significantly boost a coin's market value. And that's the story of the 1977 Washington Quarter. Whether you're a casual collector or a seasoned numismatist, this coin is a piece of history you can hold in your hands. Who knows, the change in your pocket could be worth more than you. 1984 USA 1/4 quarter dollar. We'll explore its history, design, mint-to-golf course, its circulated value. So grab your coin collection and let's get started, which was created to commemorate the bicentennial of George Washington's birth. The obverse features a left-facing portrait of Washington, designed by sculptor John Flanagan, and the reverse showcases an eagle with outstretched wings, clutching arrows and an olive branch, symbolizing both strength and peace. Now, let's talk about mintage numbers. In 1984, the U.S. Mint produced quarters at two locations, Philadelphia and Denver. Here is how many were made. That's over 1.2 billion coins combined. Because of such high production numbers, the 1984 quarter is not considered rare, but that doesn't mean it's not collectible. Many factors can influence its value. Coins in mint or uncirculated condition will have sharp details and no visible wear. Circulated coins, on the other hand, often show signs of wear, like faded details and scratches. Look out for errors like doubled dies, off-center strikes, or die cracks. These errors can make your quarters significantly more valuable to collectors. Now, let's talk about value. Most 1984 quarters you find in circulation are worth their face value of 25 cents, but certain factors like condition and rarity can increase their value. Coins with noticeable wear are generally worth 25 cents. Skulls with animals kind of losing cloud of makeup, but dealers may pay a bit more for better-looking coins in bulk. Quarters with minting errors can fetch anywhere from $50 to hundreds of dollars, depending on the severity and type of error. Be sure to inspect your coin carefully or get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC if you think you have a valuable one. Before we wrap up, here are some fun facts about the 1984 quarter. The coin is made of a copper-nickel clad composition, which replaced the silver quarters in 1965. It weighs about 5.67 grams and has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters. If you stacked all the 1984 quarters ever made, it would reach well into space. The 1984 quarter might not be rare, but it's still a fascinating piece of American history that deserves a spot in any collection. Whether you're hunting for mint state examples or hoping to stumble upon an error coin, there's always something exciting about coin collecting. The Washington quarter was introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. The coin replaced the Standing Liberty Quarter, which had been in circulation since 1916. The design was created by sculptor John Flanagan, whose portrait of Washington was based on a bust sculpted by French artist Jean-Antoine Houdin in 1785. Flanagan's design became an enduring symbol of American coinage, and it remained largely unchanged for over 65 years. By 1984, the Washington quarter was already a staple of American currency. The coin was produced as part of the copper-nickel clad series, which began in 1965 when the U.S. Mint transitioned away from silver coins due to rising silver prices. A bold eagle with outstretched wings, holding arrows in one claw and an olive branch in the other. The phrase, United States of America and a pluribus, the denomination quarter dollar, below the eagle. The 1984 quarter dollar was a time of significant change and economic growth in the United States. The quarter remained essential for daily transactions, from paying for parking meters to vending machines. While the 1984 quarter itself wasn't rare or special in terms of mintage, it reflects the era's stability in U.S. coin production. In 1984, the U.S. Mint produced an impressive number of quarters to meet the demands of a growing economy. These high production numbers mean that the 1984 quarter is not considered rare, especially in circulated condition. However, finding well-preserved or error varieties from this year remains a goal for collectors. The Washington quarter design remained in use until 1998, when the 50-state quarters program began. This initiative replaced the eagle design on the reverse with state-specific designs, transforming the quarter into a canvas for celebrating American history and heritage. The 1984 quarter serves as a reminder of the original Washington quarter design's enduring popularity and its role in American numismatics. Whether found in circulation or preserved in a collection, it continues to represent the values and legacy of the United States. 1983 A-USA 1/4 quarter dollar. This coin, often overlooked, holds some intriguing value for collectors and everyday coin hunters alike. Stick around and you might just find out why this coin is more than just pocket change. First, let's talk history. The 1983 quarter is part of the Washington Quarter series, minted from 1932 to 1998. Designed by John Flanagan, it features George Washington on the obverse and a majestic eagle on the reverse. But what makes the 1983 quarter particularly interesting is its rarity in higher grades despite a hefty mintage. Over 1 billion quarters were minted in 1983 between the Philadelphia and Denver mints. However, most of these coins were heavily circulated, leaving fewer in excellent condition. To add to the mystery, the U.S. Mint didn't release uncirculated sets in 1983, which has only increased the demand for high-quality specimens. Now, let's discuss value. Circulated 1983 quarters in average condition are still worth face value, just 25 cents. But if you find a coin in mint state, it's a different story. Quarters graded MS65 or higher can fetch significant premiums. For example, an MS65 quarter from Philadelphia might sell for $25 to $50. A Denver Mint version in similar condition can command $30 or more. While searching for a valuable 1983 quarter, here's what you should look for. Check for crisp features on Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers. Weak strikes are common, so sharp details stand out. Look for a coin with an original shine, free from heavy scratches or wear. Some 1983 quarters exhibit errors like die cracks, off-center strikes, or double dies. These errors can significantly boost a coin's value. Wondering where you can find a 1983 quarter? Start by checking your pocket change or old coin jars. You can also visit local coin shops, attend coin shows, or search online marketplaces like eBay. Just be sure to verify authenticity if you're buying high-grade examples. So, the next time you come across a quarter from 1983, take a closer look. You might just be holding on to a coin worth far more than its face value. Let us know in the comments if you found a 1983 quarter or if you're inspired to start hunting for one. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into the fascinating world of coins. Happy collecting!